What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to Therapist Logan Reacts. Today we are doing another song by Ren. This was another song commented down below, so I feel like I gotta do that. You guys are giving me some great ones to react to, and I'm listening to the Renegades. The Renegades really know what's up with Ren, so let's jump right into it. Today we are doing the song Dominoes. This is the official lyric video from Ren. I can't find the music video.
Oh, you built this like dominoes, dominoes, dominoes falling. Oh, you built this like dominoes, dominoes, dominoes falling. You build us up just to knock us back down. Funny how you act surprised when we hit the ground. We're like dominoes, dominoes, dominoes falling.
So here it seems like, just kind of right off bat, like dominoes, like really setting it up. Kind of what he's saying. It's just like, I'm not sure what he's referring to. I know people in the have commented kind of regarding his history and his paths. So I'm kind of aligning with that. Again, I don't want to be quick to make any quick assumptions or judgments. As therapists, we're really trained to like really hesitate and really make sure we have, like, when we're making inferences, that we have things to kind of back up and evidence to kind of placate and like add or utilize towards our inferences. Because if it's just like a guess without any like real backup, it's kind of just an assumption, and that's one of the biggest no-nos when it comes to therapy. So yeah, that's what we're taught, at least how I was taught.
So bleed me of all my self-belief. My smile shows all my insecurity. In a kingdom of Photoshop, kings and queens will never feel happy with ourselves.
Okay, so kind of this last few lines, it really seems like, again, struggling a bit with identity and our insecurities and how they kind of come out and how we kind of feel about ourselves. It's really hard to, when we live in a society that focuses on subjective beauty and how it kind of comes out, and how we constantly compare ourselves. Like a typical saying in therapy is, comparison's the thief of joy. If you're never happy with what you have, or if you're always worried about what others have or whatever the people got going on, you'll never be able to enjoy what's going on in your life. And I know that's really easier said than done, but that is a very common phrase utilized.
But insecurity sells. Dominoes, dominoes, dominoes falling. Oh, you built us like dominoes, dominoes, dominoes falling. You build us up just to knock us back down. Funny how you act surprised when we hit the ground. We're like dominoes, dominoes, dominoes falling. I hide my head under the sheets, 'cause how can I face a world that ridicules the weak? Where beauty is sold on the shelves, forbid that we find it in ourselves. And
yeah, this is a great line where it talks about how it's sold on the shelves, forbid that we find it in ourselves. Social media and just the way our society is kind of built is rewarding those who kind of fall into this, and creating this like dichotomy of needing to do this for yourself and pay exorbitant amount of money to feel beautiful in your own skin and less insecure, and do all these things so that way they can put a price tag on it, and kind of push this idea of consumerism that, oh, buy this lipstick and you'll be beautiful, or buy this Weight Watchers thing and you'll get super ripped for men, or whatever it may be. There's a bunch of different things, but it plays on the idea that you are insecure about who you are, and you can't we're going to do our best to make you compare yourself to everything that we have, so that way you can't find in yourself, because once you find that, there's no more sales. Consumerism and consumerism just kind of goes to out the window at that point.
And now I'm broke, it don't come cheap. Oh, you built this like dominoes, dominoes, dominoes falling. Oh, you built this like dominoes, dominoes, dominoes falling.
I think it's beautiful too the way he utilizes dominoes. Like I think it's a really, again, his self-awareness is amazing, and just how he utilizes and uses his creativity to kind of get a message across. Like he's really recognizing and identifying closely with a majority of people and the individuals, and even though he has fame, he doesn't let that change him, and he recognizes that the system is kind of setting him up along with you and just like other people. Like he's recognizing himself in the many dominoes that are in line, and just they're setting us up just to make us fall on top of each other. It's just really cool to see that he really identifies with it, and again, just doesn't let the fame really kind of do anything for him other than get a message across.
Yo, build us up just to knock us back down. Funny how you act surprised when we hit the ground. We're like dominoes, dominoes, dominoes falling. Araya was the most beautiful girl in this world. She shined like diamonds and rubies and pearls. But then, as soon as she turned 13, she forgot just how bright that it was that she gleamed. Stuck in the material world of magazines that glamorise fake and Photoshop beauty queens. Top 10 beauty tips making her feel inadequate. For the first time in her life, she felt ugly. So Araya stopped eating to lose weight. She spent her dinner money on some makeup for her face. But no matter how much she lost or how much she bought, she was never good enough, or so she thought.
Yeah, we see this a lot too, especially with young girls right around that age, when it comes to, again, societal pressures for this idea of subjective beauty. We typically see eating disorders kind of come about from it, and clearly that's kind of this instance. Like started saving his money for beauty products, and just stopped eating to lose weight, and again, just very disordered eating, and that's very dangerous. Just one on like healthy, like not even psychological. Like it's really something to be and unfortunately, I have worked with. I mean, I'm glad to have had the opportunity to work with individuals and help them work through this, but it is a really hard concept because, again, it's just the idea of comparing yourself and not feeling beautiful in yourself, and just, again, this trap that is just so focused on young teenagers, both men and women. It's just boys and girls.
Felt she could never be loved. She started cutting her wrist and hiding the scars with.
And then you start seeing, again, the timeline he has is really spot on, because then you also, I have seen a dichotomy when it comes to self-harm as well as eating disorders. Typically, there is, at least from my perspective, there's an occurrence that comes with that's really focused on control, what I can do to control situations. So it may not be so much that the self-harm is focused on no longer living. It's more focused on just the control aspect, and what can I do to control my situation because I feel so out of control. That is a very typical thing that I see occur a lot.
Gloves. At 16, an anorexic beauty queen, she collapses in a puddle of her tears and blood, cause she never felt enough. She never felt enough. Your sellers told this lie that we must buy to keep in touch. We can never buy enough, never buy enough. All the riches in the world can't buy a sense of self-love. Funny how you act surprised when depression's levels rise, when you force feed inadequacy straight into our eyes. Television shows that praise the beautiful people, and talent competitions that just laugh at the feeble. Billboards, magazines, people turn to plasticine, molded like a factory. We're growing up to fear, feeling ugly. It's lunacy, and not even a community, cause insecurity breeds judgment, judgment breeds hate, no unity. And hierarchy based upon aesthetics is what makes a kid in school get bullied for genetics. And I felt so ugly growing up. The way that I look sometimes got me beaten up.
This is just like, I got the chills on that, but it's just like, it's such a hard thing to see that, like, and it's such a common theme that when it comes to like the subjective and the idea of that's just affecting everybody. There's no one that like if you're, again, here, this person that beat him up, that person was probably so insecure about themselves that they took it out on somebody else's to take away their eyes on that individual. And it's just a very unfortunate cycle that occurs. And like, again, just having gotten beaten up just for the simple way of looking, like it's such a, oh goodness, it's such a just disgusting way to like kind of look at the world and like think of like, oh, just because that person's different is like they need to feel bad about it. it's just it hurts my heart kind of as a therapist. And it just, again, I grew up seeing it, like it was awful. And just I hated seeing it. I always stuck up for those that were bullied. Like that was just one thing I never rocked with. And I always liked the different kids, or just like the people who may have been different kind of growing up, because they had such cool stories. And just like, again, like I grew up playing sports, and like I knew the typical jocks, the typical popular kids, but they just like bored me. And just, again, seeing some of those bullies, like I had conversations with them because I did have that rapport with them, but I always enjoyed the individuals that like weren't kind of in the spotlight, and enjoyed like it's just some people, like you get to know people, and it's just, it sucks that people overlook such a subjective thing that it doesn't even matter, and just like treat people differently because of it. And
I mean, what the fuck sort of culture do we live in when we're defined by the shape of our face, when we're ashamed by the size of our waist, when we're imprisoned by the form that we take? And so we keep buying and spending. That's just how this story goes. You build us up just to knock us back down, and we just keep falling like dominoes.
Yeah. Again, just a very good encapsulation of the idea of just the game of dominoes, you know, like you're influencing how they go, which direction they go, how they fall, which one they fall, what order, and just like the complete manipulation that he's talking about in the game of dominoes when you're setting them up like that to just fall. It's very supplemental and very parallel to like what we have going on in our society right now. And it's just, it's very hard because you don't know what people are going through. And so like, why not offer like a helping hand, or just like connectedness? Like that's what we should really strive for. And just, you're not going to get along with everybody, and that's fine. But just because you don't get along with somebody doesn't mean you need to disrespect them or hurt them or bring them down. Like it's just, I don't understand that part of like, oh, just because I don't like you, like we should all be focusing and pushing this idea of adding more positivity as wherever we can, no matter how hard it may get for us. Just because, like, I want to always add more positivity because I know there's a lot of negativity in this world. I don't want to add more to that, and that's a mantra I kind of live by. It's something I very much, even if someone's treating me like shit, even if one of my clients are taking it out on me and they're clearly just like so angry and they're digging into me as hard as they can, just like I recognize that they're hurting a lot of the time. And hurt, one of the biggest things, I don't know if I've said it yet, one of my biggest, most meaningful metaphors that I have is hurt people hurt people. I've seen that time and time again. If there's something that encapsulates the idea of therapy, it's that to a T. And I just can't stress that enough. So I always look at things like, I'm going to spread positivity to this person, even if they hate me, because I'm not going to let their negativity influence how I'm going to react. I'm not going to let the cold, negative world turn me cold and negative. I'm going to maintain and persevere through that and add positivity wherever I can. Because I'm not going to let any negativity influence me as much as I can. It's, again, I'm not perfect too. That's not me every single time. Sometimes people get the best of me. But that's my striving. That's what I want to do. I try to keep that in the back of my mind when I do feel myself getting kind of upset and irritated. But yeah, this is a dope song. It's very interesting. It's kind of different from what he usually does. I don't know. It sounded like just like the beat behind it was cool. But I really like this song. Really cool perspective. Talks about a very significant topic that I see in therapy, kind of just, again, the comparison and how we're kind of driven apart from one another just to place judgment. Don't place judgment. Approach things with curiosity, never judgment. That's a big one for me as well, because nobody should feel bad for being different. We're all different. Everyone's different. There's no normalcy. There's no normal. I don't care what anyone says. I can argue till I'm blue in the face. Normal is not a real thing. There's a baseline. Sure, there's an average, but there's no normal. There's nothing normal because everyone's different in their own way. And I think the difference is what makes us who we are. And I think that's the most important thing. So if you're struggling with your identity thing, just hold out. There are people there. Your village will accept you once you find them. Your group of people, just because again, unfortunately there's still closed-minded people who make fun of people for being different. But let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you like this song? Make sure you give me a like. Make sure you give a comment down below what next song you want to hear. And make sure you subscribe. We are almost at 1,000. I want to try to get there. You guys have been awesome. I appreciate each and every one of you. And I'll catch you next video. Thank you.